They did a lot in an attempt to get rid of you. They tried everything they could think of to stop you. They wanted so bad to make you believe that you were unworthy enough to never tap into your purpose. They wanted to make sure that you felt so bad about yourself, that you forgot how anointed you were, or that you would never see your own gift. Everything that happened with these family members, in that job environment, in that manipulative relationship, it happened because they needed to block you and stop you. But it's not working. They failed miserably because it was never up to them. Your future has already been written. God has always been there and will always be there to fight with you and for you. They won't understand why, in spite of everything they did, you are still alive. You've gotten wiser, you've gotten stronger, you still getting promoted. You're still the center of attention, even though you're not asking for it. David didn't ask to be king, but that's what God wanted. Nothing was going to stop him, not even that giant. King Saul was jealous of David's popularity. He did everything in his power to try to stop it, but he's not God. So he couldn't. In spite of it all, years later, David still became king. And guess what? He was 30 years old when he became king. Whatever was sent to stop him, whoever was there trying to stop him, couldn't stop him. It did not work. It will not work. It could not work because he was anointed. God knew him before he even came out of the womb, just like you. And God is so beautifully strategic. David became king when Saul finally died. Joseph didn't ask to be so full of light and have attention the way he got it. But that's who he was. And in spite of the plotting, the scheming, and the attempt to destroy him and put him up under a place where he wasn't supposed to crawl out, he came out greater. He came out better than anyone ever expected. God's purpose was still fulfilled. They can't stop you because you're chosen. Joseph went from being a favored son to a slave because he was sold by his own brothers. Think about your spiteful family members, those siblings of yours that can't seem to stop trying to compete. That narcissistic family dynamic where they're jealous of you for no reason. Your own brother, your own sister wants you dead for no reason. I'm going to tell you, there is a reason. It's because of your light. You have on a coat of many colors, and it irritates their demons. Joseph went through hell, from slave to a prisoner. But guess what though? In the end, he was vindicated so greatly by God that the same people who tried to destroy him, those same siblings, they had to crawl to him. They needed him. They needed him. They had to go and face him years later, when they probably got excited and thought that they successfully fulfilled their plan to get rid of him. You can't get rid of nobody that God chose to be great. It won't work. It doesn't work like that. That's why in the end, they're humiliated. In the end, they need a nurse. In the end, they need food. In the end, they need something that only you can give. In the end, they're the ones without. They're the ones in a drought. They're the one falling apart, dying early, diseases destroying them. Failures. You can't mess with God's child. You don't get away scot-free after messing with God's child. That's not how this works. That's why no matter what they have tried, it won't work, and it's not working. David had a special gift. His narcissistic haters did not want to see it. They thought they could control the situation, control the narrative by getting rid of him. Little did they know, just like that narcissist, that God was using them to get David right where he needed to be. Although painful, being enslaved and then being in prison, guess what? It was in prison that David's gift saved him. That same gift caused him to elevate in life, where he went from prisoner to ruler. These narcissists don't even understand what they're doing. They don't even understand how powerful God's hand is over your life. The things they're doing against you, plotting against you, is backfiring. Because the pain puts you right where you're supposed to be. You only know this when you heal. When you go from survivor to thriver. This is when you understand the power that's been behind you the whole time. The power that is within you the whole time. You're unshakable and you're unkillable. Because God dwells inside of you. They can't dim your light. They cannot touch you because you're anointed. They're just full of envy and jealousy because they see something that you didn't see. Sometimes it doesn't make sense what you're going through with narcissistic people. Sometimes all you feel is the aftermath of all the witchcraft, the poisoning, the belittling, the criticism. Sometimes you don't understand the isolation, but I'm here to tell you in this message that God is always preparing something for you. God is actually preparing you for his announcement of you. It seems like they're winning. Nah, God knows what he's doing. They are trying to stop you from being the great you that you were born to be. They're trying to dim your light. But you must be prepared to face your own light. God knows that when it's time for you to step into your purpose, when it's time for the world to see and know who you are, you got to be prepared for the wolves that are coming with it. The attacks. You got to be strong and wise enough to stand up and rise against it. They're never winning. They're just working hard. They're plotting hard. They're predators. They don't want to see you glow because they know you have a glow. This is why they're so manipulative. They want to confuse you. They want you to doubt yourself. They want you to lose your identity. They want you to believe their lies. Because if you continue to be spun around in a circle like that, you will never see the truth. You are great. That narcissist knows that. That's exactly why they are doing what they're doing to you. That's exactly why they did what they did to you. They were sent to stop your greatness. They were sent to interrupt and distract you from your greatness. That's why they made you so sick. They made you feel so sick, so tired, so ill, so confused. They did a number on you. The attacks were so strong that you found yourself checking in and out of mental wards. You wanted to go to one. You found yourself reaching for mental medications. You believed you had something going on mentally. You believed you couldn't heal. You believed you couldn't get the strength to get out of it. Because they worked so hard to make you feel like you were stuck. Like you would never get out. The suicidal thoughts. But think about every time you battled those dark spirits, there was something else battling those spirits on your behalf. That's why you didn't. That's why you didn't successfully get rid of yourself. You didn't successfully unalive yourself. That's why you didn't check into that mental ward, even though you wanted to. Something kept you. The Holy Spirit had your back the whole time because you were never crazy. They wanted you to feel crazy and believe you were crazy. And trust me, you went through moments where you felt like you lost your mind or that you were losing your mind. But you were designed by God. They wanted to control you so bad that you would forget that you would never even know that. Because the moment you understood God and what God meant in your life and what God wanted for your life, they lost and they failed miserably. Whatever they planned, whatever they plotted, it didn't work. Once you understood what God was trying to show you about your life, everything they wanted to keep you from seeing, you saw it anyway. It doubled, it tripled, it quadrupled. The promotions came anyway. You still became a light to the world anyway. People still knew who you were anyway. People know your name anyway. The pain helped you discover your purpose. The pain put you on the path to your purpose. You may not feel the healthiest, the most healed. You may not even be your happiest self right now. And it probably took you a long time to get where you are a thriver. But you got there. You are there. You are a living testimony that they did all this hard work and it didn't work. They wanted to silence you because of how jealous they were of you. Now you're louder than ever. You're loud in your healing. You're loud in your thriving. You're not even trying to be loud. It's showing on you. If they weren't busy stalking you and watching you so hard, they wouldn't even know how well you're doing. But they're torturing themselves because they know what they were doing behind your back. So they've been watching, waiting for you to drop dead. And all they're seeing is that you're rising In spite of what they did, you're going up. You're going higher and higher and higher. And they're sitting somewhere wishing they can eat with you, sit with you, sleep with you. And they can't. They can't. They lost big time. Because the type of wind that has come up after everything they did, it was unimaginable. God was bigger than everything they ever had planned. God was the one in control of the plan. All they had was their tools to manipulate you, gaslight you, triangulate you with others to make you feel so low, so small. But God was in control. They just wanted to destiny swap with you. That's why they were so draining, so controlling, so cruel, so evil, so sneaky, so jealous. They wanted what you have. So they worked hard to make you feel like you have nothing or that you weren't enough. You're more than enough. You are more than enough. And that's why it didn't work. They are the ones fame hungry, starving for attention, constantly craving attention. They wanted attention so bad. They wanted to be in the spotlight so bad. When the whole time, you are the star. You're the one born to be given that type of attention. You're not looking for it. You probably don't even want it. But you don't have a choice because God gave you an assignment. That's why it didn't work. I don't know who this is for. But I want to confirm the warrior that you are. I want to let you know that they tried hard to destroy you for a reason. But that's why they failed. That's why you are thriving the way that you are. You don't even understand how you made it through this, but God. They were never going to successfully destroy you. Everything they desire, everything they want and crave, God has already blessed you with it. They can't help but to hate on you. That's why they worked so hard to bring you down. Attacked everything that you worked hard for, your confidence. They were so possessive. My goodness. But look what God has done. He's vindicated you. He has held you through this. Stay blessed, beautiful people. Until next time. Bye.